this video, we're going to be looking at one of the new Zondervan NRSV Updated Edition Bibles. This is, I guess, what you would call the regular size. It reminds me of more of a thin line Bible when you look at the form factor, which we'll see. But they do also have the NRSV Updated Edition in a personal size. This one, it says on the back, is a Burgundy Leathersoft cover. And if you want to look at the information on the back, you can pause and look at that. It says that this is a durable and elegant design that make it the ideal Bible to carry with you to work, school, or church. And I will say one thing that is really good about this form factor is it is very portable. It's not a compact Bible, but because of having a thin form factor, it is easy to carry. This is the retail price here, $49.99, and you can get this Bible for cheaper than that. I actually think on christianbook.com right now it's $20-something. I could be wrong, but I think it's $20-something right now. So you can definitely get it for less than $50. So this one comes in this little slip case. It's nice looking. Again, it doesn't say really what kind of Bible this is. It doesn't say large print. It doesn't say thin line. So that's why I'm calling it the regular size. But let's look at the Bible itself here. The Burgundy Leathersoft cover. Leathersoft is an imitation leather. And Zondervan just does a wonderful job with their imitation leather. Looks really good. As you can see, it has a grain pattern in there. It is perimeter stitched, and also it has a design on the front that I think is really nice, an ornate design that has a beautiful look to it with the Holy Bible printed there. The spine has printed spine indications, hub indications. They're not actually hubs. And then also the Holy Bible, NRSV Updated Edition, and Zondervan on the bottom. It does have two ribbons that go with the color scheme, a red ribbon and a gold ribbon. And they are two different lengths, I noticed. Not tremendously different, but it would be nice to see if they could get those to be the exact same length. Normally, Zondervan ribbons are done really well. These ones are still nice ribbons. They are more of the narrow type ribbons, but they're nice. And they are double-sided. The edge of the pages is gold gilt, so that looks good. When you get inside, it has a paper paste down liner with that ornate design that you saw on the cover, and then a presentation page on cardstock. I like that that's not a glossy cardstock, which some Bibles have, so I don't think that's going to smear like you'll more likely to do in other Bibles that have the glossy cardstock. I like how it says, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path," from Psalm 119:105. Here is the title page for the Bible, and then the publisher title page. Here's the copyright information. This is printed in China in 2022. And again, it's the NRSV Updated Edition. Anytime it's the Updated Edition, you'll see the little UE next to it. It looks like it is a two-color scheme print in the Bible, because this is a reddish color for the table of contents, and you do see some red highlights in here. So titles look like they're in red, and then the rest of the print is black. That's one of the reasons this retails for around $50. I think they would have saved some money if they didn't have the two-color scheme, but the two-color scheme does add, really, I think, a higher quality to this Bible. So here's a To the Reader section from the National Council of the Churches of Christ in the USA. I will say the NRSV is not popular in a lot of evangelical circles. It's more of an ecumenical translation. If you want to know my thoughts more specifically on the NRSV, you can watch the videos that I will link in the description below this video, and you can check out some of my thoughts on the NRSV. They have the preface to the updated edition. Abbreviations for the text notes. The Old Testament title page. What I've noticed throughout this Bible is that it has a cross design, which is interesting. A lot of Bibles will maybe have a cross, more toward the New Testament, because that's when we have Jesus appearing and laying down his life on the cross. But this Bible has the cross theme throughout the entire Bible. And I would actually say that there are some traditions that would really resonate with the idea that Christ is the Christ of all of Scripture. Anyway, I just thought I would highlight that. And again, that two-color scheme looks really nice with the titles in that reddish color. And so you see the reddish color on the heading here, the chapter number, as well as the beginning of the paragraph verse numbers are also in that reddish color. And then those verses that begin the paragraph are in a larger number, and the rest of the verse numbers are smaller. And those two different size verse numbers, I think, are typical for the Zondervan NRSV Bibles. Really kind of keeps the verses from being so noticeable when you're reading the paragraphs, and yet they are there for reference. Again, on the top of the page, you have a really nice design here with that cross and border line, and then the page number, another separation line, and the reference for the end of this page. On the left side is the reference for the beginning of this page. It is a two-column paragraph format with poetic stanza setting and translator notes at the bottom right-hand corner of the page, separated by, again, that red type color, a line separating the translator notes from the rest of the biblical text. It is the comfort print for the NRSV and is a 10-point font. I believe it is line matched. And this is just a taste thing, but I think this is one of my favorite designs. I think it's very readable, but it really looks fitting for Scripture. The print, for most people, being a 10-point size, will be quite readable, good enough, but it's not an overly large print. Sometimes that actually doesn't look as good on the page to a lot of people. So I think this does hit that sweet spot. Let's get into some poetic setting just so we can see what that looks like. So we've got Proverbs here. We'll go back to Psalms. So everything in here just has a really nice look. It's not a cross-reference Bible. So this really is a Bible just to take with you, be able to read the text in different places. When we get into the New Testament, you have the New Testament title page. And I would say these are more the traditional headings for the books of the Bible. Some of the newer translations will just say Matthew, but some of the more historic-based translations have the longer titles, the Gospel according to Matthew, which actually I prefer that title. And when you're in the New Testament, you'll see here that it is a black letter text for the words of Christ. The NRSV doesn't really do anything to particularly highlight Old Testament quotes. Some of them are actually in poetic setting if the original quote was poetic, but there's nothing like in the NASV with small caps or the CSB with bold print for Old Testament quotes. This, I think, would be more like the ESV. And another thing about those Old Testament quotes, and I think this is like the ESV, they don't include a reference for that quote in a footnote. I believe the CSB does, which I prefer that. I'd like to know where in the Old Testament that quote is coming from. But they are quoted. Obviously, they have quotation marks, so you can tell that there is something being quoted from the Old Testament. As we get through the rest of this Bible, we'll see at the end of the Bible, after the book of Revelation, we have a blank piece of paper on this side, and then the other side has a note regarding the type. You have the Zondervan colorful maps on glossy cardstock paper. And then you have the end sheet paste down liner. And there's a look at one of the corners. It looked nice. Really nice Leathersoft cover. The back imprinted on it has Leathersoft and the ISBN number. So that is a look at the NRSV updated edition from Zondervan in the Burgundy Leathersoft cover. If you have any questions or comments about this Bible, I'd love to see that in the comment section. But thank you so much for watching this review brought to you from a Frisch perspective.